Hey everyone, thought I'd give you since I'm probably not going to get a chance to do it tomorrow, even though I'm off, my mom's off, of course, that's Saturday, and then we got the nephews coming, because they're going to be celebrating my older sister's 40th birthday early, because she's going to be out of town next week for her actual birthday. So, anyway, as you see it below, on top or below, I'm here to give you my SummerSlam preview, predictions, and how I would book it. Hold on for a second while I get my Kindle so I can read off the freaking card. So I don't mess up or anything, if you will. But yeah, I mean, some of the matches I do know of because I have been paying attention, and you know, I'm going to get my thoughts on them no matter what. Now, trying to get to the matches here, hold on. So far, it's 10 matches, in addition to maybe a match or so on the kickoff show. So anyway, let's talk about SummerSlam here. First of all, let's talk about the huge elephant that's in the room, the one elephant that everybody's been talking about, and that's the fact that SummerSlam this year, unlike its previous years, especially since its inception back in 1988, SummerSlam this year is a 4-hour show. Yeah, 4 hours. And quite frankly, a lot of people have questioned whether or not this is a good idea. I mean, obviously having 10 matches on the card, in the eyes of wrestling fans would be like, oh, that's going to fill up time anyway, so that's going to be good. Yeah, there's a problem with that though. You see, there's a problem with that. You see, as great as that is to fill up time, sometimes the matches are not going to be as long as we hope they're going to be, and sometimes you got to fill out that extra time. So I would expect a promo or so, in-ring promo by the Authority, which of course might be a repeat of what we saw at Mania, and that's you're going to have The Rock make an appearance as well, just like he did there, and that's going to be the next step to get us to the Rock Triple H match at WrestleMania, if they're still planning to go in that direction, if they're still planning to do so. So I think that's the biggest problem that fans like the Schleg Daddy, PWF Empire, Deluxe Man, a lot of people that are talking about this and reviewing it have a problem with. It's the fact that essentially you're going to have to fill time, and either you're going to have to give us a bonus match, or you're going to have to fill it out with some kind of filler promo, or filler promo, something like that. I mean that's basically the best solution you got. But the thing is, what do you do for those filler promos? How do you fill them up? So if that's the case, how do you fill for time if something goes short or doesn't? But anyway, with that said, I think that is the biggest problem. Now, I can understand that they're doing this because it's Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and they're planning and hoping that the match goes long towards the end, because it's basically it's being built up as a big fight, as the marquee match. Like, if you don't care about anything else on this on this card, if you don't care about Cena Rollins, if you don't care about Stephen Amell, Arrow, and Neville teaming up against Stardust and King Barrett, if you don't care about the Divas Revolution three-team elimination match, if you don't care about anything else, this is the only one you care about, and this is the only thing you do care about besides anything else above all the other matches, then that's why they probably extended it to 4 hours, because they're hoping it's going to tear the roof off. Or they're going to tear the house down. They're hoping, but I don't know. I mean, you got other matches as well on here too. I mean, here's the other thing too. You're going to be in Brooklyn, New York. This, from what many people have said, is one of the main sections of Northeast indie wrestling. Most importantly, one of the main sections, one of the most important sections in the Northeast when it comes to Ring of Honor wrestling, or who, by the way, is going to be running an event the same day and night that WWE's NXT TakeOver Brooklyn is going to be running as well. So they've got a major problem there, because here's what's going to happen. Depending on what matches are placed on the card, basically depending on when they are scheduled to take place during the night, when you get to that Cesaro Owens match, do not be surprised that not only do you not hear Cesaro chants, not only do you hear Owens chants, not only do you possibly hear this is wrestling chants, you are going to freaking hear, and I may be wrong, but I'm probably not, you are going to hear a small section, if not a decent sized section of that crowd chanting R-O-H, R-O-H, R-O-H. I guarantee it, you're going to have something like that happen. And why? Because you're putting two ROH alumni, established alumni, against each other. And again, depending on where you position them on the card this Sunday, after that match happens, whether it's good or not, that will tell you whether or not people are still going to be invested in either the two main events, or they're just going to be like, oh, that's all we needed, let's go. Whee! Who knows? But anyway, again, the 4-hour thing, that's the big elephant in the room. Let's hope they can do better with 4 hours than they do sometimes when they do 4 hours with WrestleMania. And here's what's really going to be problematic there. You think this is 4 hours? You get to Mania next year, and it's supposed to be at AT&T Stadium, possibly with a record-setting crowd. Expect 5 hours next year for WrestleMania. Anyway, let's get to the card itself. Alright? Now, they've been building this up since Battleground. They've been giving it a month or so to be built up. So that's a good thing. A lot of people might have to agree that at least WWE is not rushing into things and saying, okay, 2 weeks later, here's this pay-per-view. Or 2 weeks later, here's this one that they're going to be at. At least they're giving a month-long build-up to it. So at least they're doing that correctly. But let's take a look at the card, shall we? Now, there are several matches that can open up the card. There are several matches that can open up the card. Now, I do know that we're going to get some kickoff matches. We're not sure yet who is going to be involved in the kickoff matches, but we know that's going to happen, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. But anyway, let's talk about the card. Oh, wait a minute. Before we talk about the card, we also found out that Jon Stewart is going to be the host, the guest host of, I think that's what they said, would be the special guest host of SummerSlam. So there's an answer to your possible filler time. And let's not forget, there's been a little bit of history between Stewart and Rollins, storyline-wise. I wonder if that's going to be an implication of what happens during the night. But anyway, let's get to the matches again, like I said. And like I said, some of the matches here, depending on the interest and the value you know, could be positioned, you know, depending on how they're positioned and everything, that's what's really going to tell you right off the bat how well the crowd accepts SummerSlam. So, the first match I want to talk about is a match that recently got signed this past week, and that is Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. Now, WWE, I will give them credit, has been throwing out little curveballs telling us, oh, this is not going to happen, that's not going to happen, have Lana go out and say this, da-da-da-da-da, and yet, pretty much what we knew was going to happen is going to happen. Not specifically the way we thought it would, but it is, and that is Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler, both Lana and Summer Rae in their respective corners. But now the outcome is who goes over. Well, Dolph Ziggler, people still speculate whether or not he's going to stay with the company or is he going to stay. He's staying with the company or not. I think it's confirmed that if he did a WWE film, he's staying. But the question is, who do you go over here? Who goes over? And that's kind of a toss-up because, you know, both are kind of like in limbo right now. I mean, both are on that upper crust of getting to that next level. I mean, last year's Survivor Series, you kind of showed a little faith in Dolph Ziggler, saying, hey, this guy could be the future for our company. And then you build up Rusev as a freaking monster over the past year before he lost to Cena. And now he's put in the position that he's in. You know, it's kind of an up and down deal. And then you have Lana and Summer Rae involved, and you don't know what you're going to do with them and how they're going to get, what their roles will be on Sunday. So it's basically a toss-up. A lot of people have predicted that, you know, they predicted this even with the potential mixed tag, but it still could happen. Some have predicted that you could have a double turn. You could have Summer Rae leave with Dolph Ziggler, have them turn heel, or you could have Lana stab Ziggler in the back, decide again with Rusev, and have Summer Rae, virtue of that, wondering what the heck's going on, and have her turn face because she will basically be used in a little game or something like that. So it does those the kind of potentials, but I don't really know exactly what will happen. So to me, it's kind of up in the air between these two. But if I was WWE, I have to go with the guy that was out for a while. I mean, he's coming back from an injury and everything, storyline-wise. So I definitely have to go with putting Ziggler over. I mean, you're going to be in Brooklyn. You're essentially going to be in front of a pure pro wrestling crowd, a pure pro indie wrestling crowd. I would definitely go with Ziggler, at least to get redemption for what's happened. Go with him, no matter what how else the match is going. No matter how much else the match is going to play out. I definitely go with Ziggler to win this match. Now, another match that they have is a 3-team elimination match. It's basically a 6-diva 3-way match. You have Team Bella, which is the Bella Twins and Alicia Fox. You have Team Bad, which is Naomi, Sasha, and Tamina. And you have Team PCB, which is Paige, Charlotte, and Becky. Now, for Sasha and Becky and Charlotte, this is a huge opportunity. Yes, Charlotte made her in-ring pay-per-view debut on the main roster back at Battleground with a victory. Victory along with, her and Sasha, that is, I should say, made their debut made the main roster pay-per-view debut at Battleground. But this is a bigger event. This is more of a bigger event for them because this is basically one of the big four, and this is gonna be the one match that, despite how the rest of the card goes and the rest of the event is treated, this is going to be the one match, even if it's a 3-team, 6-diva elimination match, or 9-diva elimination match, whatever you want to call it. This is going to define all 3 of these NXT women, because this is a bigger stage, it's a bigger platform, and this is going to be the defining moment here, or at least one of them. But the question is, who goes over? And I would definitely have to say you've got to go with one of the NXT divas. That's obvious. But who? Well, all depending on the outcome at TakeOver the night prior, if Sasha Banks retains her title, which seems to be the prediction due to spoilers at an NXT taping, which they could also re-edit and everything too. If Sasha doesn't win, which again looks like she's going to anyway against Bayley, then I would have Sasha Banks go over. Because obviously WWE has a lot of stock in her, a little bit more than Charlotte. I would definitely go with Sasha Banks, getting the pinfall, being the one that leads her team to victory. But if that's not the case, you got to go with Charlotte or you got to go with Becky Lynch. And if I'm WWE, I've already given Charlotte a big pay-per-view win, even if it was at Battleground, I would have to go with Becky Lynch here. Because you want to push this Divas Revolution, you want to show that this is legit, you give one of these three women that victory at SummerSlam. And since you already gave Charlotte hers, I would suggest giving either Sasha or Becky this moment at SummerSlam. So that's the way I look at it. So in other words, even though it's a toss-up, I would say I'm going to go with either Team Bad or Team PCB coming out of SummerSlam victorious, with either Sasha getting the victory for her team or Becky getting the victory for her team. Alright, next matchup is one that I mentioned I feel is going to be, the crowd is definitely going to get behind. The crowd's going to be dueling chants for both competitors, and there's you're going to get that you're going to get a "This is wrestling" chant in there, and there's no doubt in my mind you're probably going to get somewhere throughout that match an ROH chant as well, and that is Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. This to me could be a show stealer, could be the match of the night, or at least one of them. So the question is going to be, who do you put over? Both are in limbo, both are in flux. Kevin Owens, not a lot of people backstage, according to sources and rumors, are too fond on Kevin, because not just of his weight appearance, not just because of, I guess, of how he looks, but of his weight and his appearance. Well, basically his overall appearance, I guess the way he dresses and the way he, his weight and all that, I don't know. But basically there are some officials backstage that have soured on Owens a little bit, according to rumors. And there are some, if not a majority, that are still backing him, that say, hey, this guy may be heavier than what you would expect, but guess what, this guy can go in the ring. So, to me, there's that situation there that makes you wonder whether or not Owens is going to go over here. And then you got Cesaro, who lately has been pushed up into the upper mid-card, if not main event picture as well, since Tyson Kidd has been on the injured list. So the question is, do you push him? So this basically is a defining match for the two. And this is going to be basically a toss-up. It's like, who needs this victory most? Who needs to win at SummerSlam the most between Owens and Cesaro? I think that is the biggest question. And again, it's a toss-up. So I can't really pick a winner here. I can't. All I can say is, we're probably going to get a good match. We're probably going to get the chants that I've mentioned from the crowd. But it's a toss-up, because both men need a victory here. Both men need to be elevated up the card. But who needs it more? Who needs this opportunity more? That's why this is a toss-up. So that's all I'm going to say there. Then you get the celebrity tag team match, if you will. You've got King Barrett and Stardust on one side, and you got their opponents Neville and Stephen Amell, the Arrow from CW's Arrow, on the other. So obviously